I'm recording. This part will go on YouTube, but like,
Okay, just like a little.
it's like a reason to go to YouTube.
Oh, okay. So I gotta hold it up.
Wait, I don't know if I can hear you. Speak.
Speak.
Say something funny. All right, now we're going again.
I'm nervous for this.
Okay. We're gonna go. All right, this is the real thing. Real thing. Are you ready? Stay in the frame if you can.
Oh yeah.
No, you're good. Just stay where you
Okay,
were.
Okay. We don't want to get too close because then it's gonna like.
No, it's a little awkward if we're too close. Okay. Hi Ryan, welcome to Guyset.
Thanks, Josh. I'm excited to be here.
Are you excited or are you nervous?
I'm probably a little bit of both.
Okay, why do you look so nice compared to me?
Well, you said look nice, and
I didn't say look nice. He's coming from work, and I work from home on Mondays.
you wore a t-shirt.
I wore a t-shirt, and he wore a suit or a. Do you still wear?
I work at a bank. I wear business casual to work every day. So.
What is business casual? Can you define that for the audience?
So it's a pretty loose term because I've seen people show up in suits when it's business casual, and I've seen people show up in polos.
What do you usually wear? Like, what's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday outfit?
Like, I'd say a suit without the jacket.
Explain what you're wearing to the audience that's just listening on audio.
I'm wearing a suit without the jacket.
What are you wearing, Ryan?
I'm wearing long pants and a long button-down shirt.
Long? Oh, like long sleeve.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, you look nice. You look nice.
Yeah.
It's a professional fit.
Thanks.
I could actually wear this to work, and I could be fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit jealous of that.
Like any day. Let me pause. I don't hear you. Okay, talk. Put the microphone closer to your mouth.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Okay, yeah, just talk loud, closer to the mic.
Okay, I'll talk louder.
Okay.
It's like radiating.
We just paused for a second for Ryan to talk a bit louder.
Yeah, I speak fairly lowly.
And anybody that listens to this knows that I talk loudly, and it's okay. It's an imbalance in our friendship. I think that's why we're good friends.
Yeah, soft-spoken versus practically yelling. So.
All right, well, let's get into it. I wanted to interview Ryan this week specifically because the New York City Marathon is on Sunday, and you ran the marathon last year, and this is your first public appearance since that marathon. Is that true?
Yeah, probably. I took a little bit of a
I told him to project.
Okay. I took a little bit of a social leave, I'd say, for the past year, and I think it's been all because of the recovery from the marathon.
Yeah. And is this also Ryan also actually ended up getting injured, not from the marathon?
Yeah. No, not from the marathon.
Separately.
I don't want to dissuade anyone from trying to run a marathon because it was a great thing.
Right. But this is your first public appearance since that injury as well. So thank you for coming on here to be the first place that you talk about it.
Thanks. I mean, I don't really make public appearances anyway. This might be my first public appearance, period. Appearance?
Yeah, well, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you, and thank you for being here on this podcast for the public appearance.
Thanks.
Well, okay. So, first public interview. This is Ryan Heaton. Ryan is one of my best friends. But we will get into all of that stuff. But that's the reason I wanted to have it on this week, was because Sunday is the marathon, and you ran it last year. So we'll get into that. But I want to first talk about this past weekend. So this past weekend was Halloween weekend. And what did you do, Ryan?
So on Friday, I actually attended a house party.
Where was that party?
It was in Josh's apartment.
Where we're sitting currently right now.
By Josh and his two roommates.
And what did you think of the party? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good party. We got some Italian food beforehand. That was good. And then wasn't too crowded. I'd say it was a good crowd, but I could move. Yeah,
I was really worried about the crowd, and I wanted to talk about that because I was going to talk about that separately if you weren't on here this week. But we're going to do it now with you here.
Really hot.
It was incredibly sunny. So we're in a New York apartment right now, and my two roommates, we were just talking about it. I was just talking about it with Reed, who has been on here before, that he and Jordan are both going to have a problem when it gets to their wedding season, and they have to pick people to be their groomsmen because they can't not invite anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can talk into the microphone.
Oh yeah. No, it's a tough balance.
No, right. But like, both of them invited everybody they've ever met in New York, which is great, which is amazing. But we're in a very small like New York apartment, and you can only fit like, how many people do you think can actually fit in here?
Like comfortably 20.
And like 65 were invited. And you know, like of that, like people bring friends. Don't like sniff into the microphone. You can avoid that.
Okay.
Yeah. But of that, like people bring friends and friends bring friends and people just show up and it's a whole thing. So I was very, what?
Random people show
up. And I was very anxious leading up to the party. I may come off as I like hosting like my friends, but I don't like hosting like big things. It's a lot of cleanup, it's a lot of setup, and I just get very anxious about having a lot of people in my apartment. But and I genuinely thought the floor was gonna fall through, and I asked Ryan the possibility that the floor would fall through, and what did you say?
I just said it was not 0. So
right, and that to me made me spin, like actually spin, because I was like, well, if there's even a 1% possibility that the floor is gonna fall through, here's where my head went, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
I went to the floor was gonna fall through onto the neighbors downstairs. And then I'm gonna kill somebody under us and then go to prison. And I was like,
sorry.
it's okay. Just like,
You had me waiting outside for like 10 minutes.
okay, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb before the podcast because I really wanted to prepare. And I didn't realize that I didn't let Ryan in. But, sorry, that's on me. Is that, you're saying you have a cold because I made you wait outside?
No, I'm just saying it was cold and now, wasn't before.
Alright, well, fuck you. So, my head went to, I was going to kill the people under me, go to prison, and I was like, but what about the podcast? Like, you can't podcast from prison. That's the only thing I was thinking about, like, genuinely.
Yeah.
And the floor didn't fall through. It was all good. And there were a lot of people here, so I guess apartments can fit a lot of people. But I am a very anxious person from that. And now it's over, and I'm happy. What did you do the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, so Saturday, got up. I actually had a crazy weekend, so it's going to seem like I'm really social and do a lot.
Okay.
This weekend was an anomaly, so I got up next morning, went to brunch with some friends and my girlfriend, and then...
Oh, you have a girlfriend?
I do have a girlfriend. And then we went shopping, and I bought a t-shirt from Uniqlo as a part of my second Saturday night outfit.
Okay.
And then we went back to the apartment, just like did nothing for the rest of the day. I think we watched episode 1 of the Beckham miniseries.
Oh, what'd you think?
Great. It was actually my second time watching
I was gonna say, did you say this is the first time watching it? Because the whole weekend Ryan wanted to be David Beckham for Halloween, and everyone was like, yeah, but like no one's gonna get that costume unless you're wearing like a soccer jersey or like a headband. Like no one's gonna get your like all black fit, and you're like, I'm David Beckham.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big deal in the 90s and in the episode, in episode 1. But it was David Beckham in a sarong during the World Cup in 1998.
What's a sarong?
A sarong, I mean, have you been to like a pool party or a beach party?
I know. I literally had no
suit?
idea what a sarong is until you just said beach party. Like what girls wear. Guys don't wear sarongs.
No, that's why it was so like controversial when David Beckham wore it.
Oh, but in that picture he's wearing black shirt and black pants.
And a sarong.
Okay, well you can't really see the sarong, so I guess. Well, I'm happy you didn't wear that costume. Did you?
Well, I did Saturday night.
Oh, how did it go over?
It went well.
People got it?
Was I the only David Beckham? No.
Was I the bear? No.
Was I the only David Beckham in a sarong? Yes.
It's really funny. Did people like the sarong? Did they know what a sarong was?
I think it hit more in like amongst like girls, just
Okay.
because they own them and wear them. I mean, I'm not generalizing all girls, but like I've never seen a guy wear a sarong.
Okay.
But like I kind of rocked it.
Proud of you.
Yeah.
Great. Sorry, I actually wasn't listening. I was reading the next question.
Okay, that's okay.
What you were saying? I'm sorry.
I thought I looked good in the sarong.
I'm sure you looked great.
People told me I kind of looked like the guy from the original Karate Kid.
Jaden Smith?
No, the original, not the remake.
Got
but
it.
he's like blonde, and I kind of did look like him. And so I got chef, I got karate like master. But David Beckham was often not the first guess.
Okay. What did Quinn, your girlfriend, wear?
She was Posh Spice.
Did people get the couple's costume?
Well, yeah, when we showed the photo.
Okay, all right. Well, as long as you had the photo up and ready, that's good. Okay, so Halloween weekend, did you enjoy it overall?
Yeah, no, I had a great time.
Are you exhausted?
Yeah, I went to bed at like 8:30 last night.
I
loved it.
Still feel kind of terrible.
Yeah, no, I want to go to bed at 8:30 tonight too.
Yeah, I think we were talking to our other friend about this today, that like hangovers now last so long.
Yeah, like.
Any comment?
No, and I hope it doesn't continue to last longer and longer.
Agree. Okay, so let's. The light fell. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. You sound good.
Nice. Can I go blow my nose? That wasn't really a mask.
Ah.
There we go.
What?
Alright, blow my nose.
Okay, volume levels are good.
Cool.
Not so terrible yet. The light's kind of hot.
Mm-hmm.
It'll die at some point.
Am I awkward at all?
No, you're great. Okay. What do we end it on? Okay. All right, we're back. The light fell. As I said, I'm working on the setup. Last time was all crotch shots. It was literally like I recorded the podcast at crotch level, and our heads were cut off. If you've seen the YouTube or follow on Instagram, this time it's better, right? Like this looks good already.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good angle.
Okay, so we're improving. So one thing at a time. Okay, so let's get into the conversation here. I wanted to talk to you about the marathon, of course. What, first of all, motivated you to want to run the marathon? Like, was it always something you wanted to do as a kid, or what started that thought?
Yeah, so I've honestly always hated running, and that'll make sense later, but...
Right now it makes no sense.
Yeah, so I always just thought people who did marathons were really cool, and I was always impressed by it.
Yeah.
And then I, saw some people that I knew do them during COVID, and I was like, like, I think I could do it.
Yeah.
And then my current roommate, who was not my roommate at the time, went to a different school, one of my best friends from high school, offered me a charity bib to the New York City Marathon. And he was like, we're gonna get fat if we don't run, and if we don't exercise. This will give us good motivation. And his dad had done it that year, and he was like, I want to compete in it. We should, kind of push each other. And I was like, yeah, like that sounds like a great idea. And so I ran it by some friends. They all told me it was a terrible idea. And then I, slept one night and then woke up the next morning and I was like, screw it, like I'm gonna do it.
So at the time he offered you the bib, you hadn't been running, right?
No, I probably hadn't run for like a year at that point.
So, okay, you said one other thing. You said, like, you ran it by your friends, and they said it was a terrible idea. Which friends, and why did they say it was a bad idea?
You were one of them, and you just kind of laughed.
Okay, I didn't mean it, like, now looking back, if I did laugh, that sounds like me, so I definitely did.
I think it was just everyone was like, you are going to run the marathon? And I was like, I don't think it's unrealistic. I told my parents, they laughed.
But it's the same thing as like me saying I'm going to start a podcast. Like until you're consistent about it and actually like prove that you're going to do something, everybody thinks that any idea is going to be stupid or like isn't going to actually happen or come to fruition.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to look at it.
Like that, I just thought about that right now because I was like, all right, well when I first said I was going to start a podcast, everyone was like, okay, cool, like funny, like you're not going to actually like make something, like because I've done other like brands that have failed, obviously.
Thank you for now sympathizing with me based on
your initial
negative reaction. Showing everyone that you've changed.
Well, I'm a better person now. But go ahead though. Like you said that people were like laughing and thought you weren't being serious about it.
Yeah, and I
me
honestly I like to prove people wrong too. So I think that was like an added layer of like screw this. Like they don't think I can do it. Like I think I can do it. I'm gonna do it.
So talk about the starting of the running.
Yeah, that was really difficult. I started running senior year with like a month and a half to go in school.
And how was that? How was like training well at school?
Yeah, I was in terrible shape. I was going to the
I
gym,
know.
but like for lifting, not running. And then actually Luke, I ran my first run with.
What was your first run?
It was either, I think it was 2 miles, and we just kind of ran around campus. And
Oh, you meant like first run as in like literal like go
Like-
get on your feet?
yeah, like
Okay,
the
I thought you meant
literal
like a half marathon or
fir-
something.
No, like the literal first time I
Like one step
took
for
steps.
mankind.
And I was like, we're really running through campus? Like,
Think you're those guys now?
no, but I was just super self-conscious because I hadn't run for a year.
Right.
And he was actually training for a triathlon at the time.
So first tip, find fit friends.
Yeah, like find someone who pushes you. I think that's something great.
Okay. Yeah, I like that tip a lot. Go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't mean to keep stopping
him
you.
and I just kind of periodically ran. I'd say like 1 to 2 times a week.
Okay.
And then, you know, senior year, like, things kind of got hectic at the end. Like, we were partying a lot. We had
You're so cool.
we had a lot on our calendar in terms of, you know, like getting photos taken, like
Graduating.
Yeah, graduating, getting dinner with like professors, like saying like it just wasn't
Figuring out
really.
like job, like
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It at that time was like 8 months away and just wasn't a priority for me.
right. So talk about when you started taking it seriously, like what went into that actual training.
Yeah, so I got like a plan. So it was, I Googled like how to run a marathon starting from like not being able to run.
Okay.
And there are couch to race run plans.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did you do that?
yeah. So I did that, but I used the one that my roommate's dad had used the year before,
Okay.
which was a little bit advanced, but like I wasn't couch because I had been running with Luke and
Yeah.
and I was running like a little bit here and there before like the actual timeline started.
So you were like right above couch.
Yeah, I'd say I was right above couch. Like passive, super passive runner.
Okay. And what did that training plan look like?
Yeah, so it's like a very ramped up plan. So it's honestly different based on what your goal is.
Okay.
So my goal, I did like an intermediate plan. So I was shooting for like 4.5 to 4 hours for
Okay.
running,
Which is what per mile? You know, I can't do math.
yeah, it's like a 10-minute mile.
Okay. Yeah, that's great for 26 miles. 26?
Yeah, 26.2.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what did you end up doing?
Yeah,
Well, we'll get into that. That's too far ahead. That's too
Yeah,
far of a
okay.
jump. So what did like let's talk about maybe a month leading up to the run. What did that look like? You said it like ramped up as time went on.
yeah, like leading up to like the marathon.
Yeah, like the actual race.
Yeah, so it's just, you're basically, what you're doing is you have maintenance runs, so runs that are basically just trying to keep you at the same pace. You have
How
runs-
long is the maintenance run?
It ramps up over time, so it starts at like 2 and then we'll go up to like 10 miles.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah. And then you have, runs for speed, so your goal for that is just trying to run it as fast as you can. You have, days just to hit core, so that like, the rest of your body's like kind of keeping up and staying,
Right.
and that just helps you progress your overall running. And then you have distance runs, and so those are the long ones that kind of get people.
So it's like 3 types of runs.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just kind of the plan I used. Like, I'm not a running expert.
But you ran a marathon, so like it's better than me.
Yeah.
Like better than most people.
I think I can talk about going from couch to running a marathon, but
That's why you're here.
that's like, yeah.
Well, other reasons too. No, for sure. But okay. So then talk about the night before. What were you feeling before the race?
Yeah,
If you could put yourself back in that headspace.
I was pretty nervous. The day of was hot. It was 75 degrees and sunny.
What time was the race? When how did you get up?
So I had to go to bed super early, but I was nervous and I had to get up. I got up at like 4:30.
And what time did you go to bed?
I probably fell asleep around 11.
Did you ever have like test anxiety in school, or was that not like a thing for you?
Not so much, because like with the test, I was like, like if I get a bad grade, I get a bad grade, I can recover.
Okay.
Like with this, I was raising money for charity, and so people were donating to this charity, like kind of on my behalf.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, okay, there's a lot of people supporting me here. I had a lot of friends going to the race, and I was like, if I don't finish, it's gonna be really awkward. Like if I.
So was that what was motivating you throughout?
Yeah, like that was a significant motivation.
That it was going to be awkward if you didn't finish.
Was like all these people were gonna be like, oh, how'd it go? Like all these people knew I was running it. You know, how was the marathon? How did it go? And if I was like, I didn't finish, like I couldn't finish. And you know that happens for people, and like, people get hurt, and there's things you can't control. But that was really making me worried.
So, while you're in the run, like what else was pushing or motivating you, like that? Like was it all like I can't fuck up because I'm gonna feel like I lost to these people?
Yeah, I'd say there was like an internal drive. Like I was like, come on, I can do this, you know. And I think a lot of confidence was built up throughout the training, because at that point I'd run 20 plus miles 3 times.
Okay.
So, you know, it's 5 more. And I've done 5 so many times at that point. And so...
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So what else... you talked about like that you built confidence throughout. Are you saying like just because you like had the miles under your belt, or because you built it up in your head, like mentally? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would say 2 parts. Like, you know, you kind of gain confidence over time just from like doing and learning and failing, but from achieving, like I would say that like really solidifies, you know,
confidence.
Because if you're like, can I do this? Well, I've already done it before. Like, why can't I do it again? And
Right.
then it's like, can I do this? I haven't done it before, but I've come pretty close.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Has that carried with you after the marathon?
I would say like larger achievements, you know, like the marathon I think was a testament of like the ability to like consistently stay with something and to like, you know, set out a goal, put like months of effort into it and like accomplish it. And I think that has kind of like improved my confidence, but like, you know, I don't know if like my, you know, ability to public speak has, you know, increased that confidence, but like long-term goals and like big achievements, I'd say.
Like knowing that you can accomplish things like that.
Yeah.
Like you can set your mind to something and say like, okay, if I really want it badly enough, I can get that done.
Yeah, like it definitely helped there, but you know, it's not like a magical pill or anything.
Right, but I do think setting your mind to something and proving to yourself and to others that you can get it done does like kind of flip a switch in you a bit. Like the next time people doubt you for something, like it's not going to matter to you as much.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also tough just because like what, you know, like the transition I went from like marathon to like immediately after getting hurt was like
right,
total buzzkill.
You transitioned yourself, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because that it was like very quickly after, and I do think like your confidence may have stayed heightened had you not been injured. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I like, you know, because it's just kind of like any setback kind of dampens your confidence, and like,
yeah,
it's a setback.
Because like, speaking as your friend, I don't think I've ever told you this, but like seeing you run like that, I was the most proud I've ever been of you, or of like it was just fucking insane that we met Ryan. What mile did we see you first? At like 10?
I was like 18.
No, the first time.
It was 18.
18 was the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Jordan.
What up, Guyset?
My roommate just walked in.
What's up, fellas?
I was getting emotional about Ryan in the
I
marathon.
know, I heard. I was like outside. I was like, fuck it.
You had to walk in at some point.
Good groceries?
Dude, what?
Good groceries?
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll be another like 35.
Cool.
Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the fit, right?
Do you want to say hi? Come say hi.
Yeah.
Come say hi. Come on.
It's my work fit. So.
It's my long anticipated.
This is your first arrival to the podcast. You have to talk in the microphone though.
What's up, guys?
And come in the camera.
Hey.
Say what's up.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, you have to lower. Jordan's really tall.
Hey, guys. Do we have a name for our people?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Do you want to give them a name?
I don't have anything right.
Would have been crazy if you did have a name right now.
Just
and it
like
just
ready
became
to
their
go.
name. Okay. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
That was Jordan. He'll
See
come in
you
for a
guys.
full episode at some point. And I'm gonna pick up the light 1 second. Jordan, your first appearance.
I know. Crazy.
You walked in. I was like, might as well.
I was a little. I wasn't like, yeah, fuck it.
I was like, get this douche canoe Ryan out of here. We want Jordan.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, where? Bring him back,
Where's
please.
Jordan?
Okay, Ryan, we're getting back into it.
Okay, we're getting back into it.
Okay. All right, we are back. my roommate just stopped. He just got home from work, and that's how we do it here. It's not the it's not a podcast studio yet. It's the apartment, straight up. But we were getting into it. We were talking about how I was super proud of you for running, and when did I see you first? What mile?
It was mile 18.
You're sure?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was earlier.
It was right after you cross. I think it's the Queen something Bridge.
Okay.
Which is like one of the hardest parts of the New York City Marathon.
And then when did we see you the second time? We saw you again.
It was like right before the finish line, probably mile 24, 25.
And you weren't expecting to see us that time. Like that one wasn't. You knew we were coming for mile 18, but you didn't know for the second one.
Yeah, no, that was a total surprise.
And when we saw Ryan the second time, he was like, my sign first of all said Ryan Heaton finishes fast, which was a great sign. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's funny.
And so this, I distracted myself with my amazing idea of that sign. But the second time, like, you actually looked like you were about to die.
Oh, it was, yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I'm not, you were running a fucking marathon. Like, of course you were about to die. But the first time you were, like, prepared to see us, so you knew, like, to put on a game face and, like, smile and wave. Like, that time you were, like, we, like, saw you in the weeds of it.
Yeah, no, and I was also, like, really hurting at that point, too. And, I mean, I think my face kind of changed, or my, like, mindset changed pretty quickly seeing everyone because it was, like, oh, my God, this sucks, to, like, oh, wow, like, it was great to see them, and it made me really happy to have people, like, still supporting me, an hour later?
No, and, like, that was the moment that I was referring to when I said I was super proud. I was like, whoa, because, like, you looked like a superhero running through, like, it must have been, like, 23 or 24, and I was like, I don't think I could ever run that long, but just, like, the fact that you put your mind to something, made it happen, it was just a very cool, like, inspiring moment.
Nice.
You're welcome. That's all you have to say to that. Like, I'm just like,
nah, I appreciate that a lot.
Okay.
It means a lot.
All right. No, I'm just kidding. But okay, you brought up you getting injured quickly after the marathon, and I want to talk about that because that's the second thing you're not here for, but like the other topic that I want to talk about, because you tore your ACL. So share that story.
Yeah. So I had joined a rec soccer league through Josh, actually. His roommate had invited me, and I actually grew up playing soccer with a couple of his friends that were on the team.
I was not on the league, by the way. I don't play soccer.
It was like January 4th, so right after New Year's. It was our first game. I tore my ACL in the second half of the game.
And how did you do it?
I just went to make a cut and just heard a pop in my knee. Fell down and was like, that's not good.
Did you know immediately that it was something worse than like a sprained ankle or something?
Yeah, because I mean, I sprained my MCL before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you were there.
Do you want to tell that story?
I mean, we can.
Yeah, you're here, might as well.
So we were, I don't know, it was one night junior year of college, and we were just like, I don't know, partying, and the floor was pretty slippery.
No, we weren't really partying. Like, let's tell the full story.
All right, there were like six of us.
Let's not make you sound cooler than it was.
There were like six of us playing beer pong. And I was walking to get the ball, and I just slipped, and my knee just twisted, and I sprained my MCL.
Like it looked, and I don't mean to be making light of a dark situation, but it looked like you slipped on a banana peel, and like that's how it went down, and everyone was, and like I think I laughed because I didn't know it was like.
No, the whole room was laughing. Yeah.
Because it which like must have made it much worse, but it wasn't like we knew something was that bad was going to happen. Like everybody falls drunk.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of knew it because it hurt a lot when it happened, and so I like basically couldn't stand immediately after because it hurt, and I injured my knee pretty badly, and then I think everyone's faces
quickly changed.
Yeah.
Like very quickly we were like, oh fuck, something actually happened. But back to the ACL. Soccer, torn ACL, January 4th, beginning of the new year, like kind of fresh off the marathon, fresh off like that high. What were you feeling right after?
Yeah, well, I mean, So first off, I mean, I had to cancel like a bunch of trips. You know,
Right.
I had to. We had a ski trip coming up that got canceled. I was also planning to run a half marathon in Vegas. That got canceled, and so initially I was just super bummed
Yeah.
because like I was like, oh, like all this stuff I planned for, was looking forward to, gone. And then you know, I had to deal with like scheduling doctor's appointments, getting a surgery, and that's just like not what you want to do.
Insurance, like,
Yeah.
no, it was a really shitty time, but like, and I know like, and I was like with you a bit in the beginning of it, like after, well, how long after the injury was the surgery?
Like a little over a week, I think.
And I remember going to your apartment after the surgery, and like, I didn't realize how bad it was until like, I was there with your girlfriend Quinn, and like, I had to like help you like get up from like the couch and like move you to the bed. And it was just like it was very like, it was a wake up call of like how bad it was. But I knew like the trips and like all that stuff you had to cancel, like that fucking sucks. So how was your social life right after that?
I mean, it was kind of non-existent. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, you know, friends would come and like hang out with me on like a random night, or
Yeah.
like come over for dinner. But like I couldn't go out, you know, and I think the first time I went out was like March.
Like
Late
2 months
February?
after? Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was your relationship during the injury?
Like with Quinn.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, I should have said your girlfriend,
Yeah.
like, girlfriendship. I don't know what that.
Alright, okay. But no, really good. She was like so supportive of it, and like, you know, she basically helped me kind of like live for like a week. 'Cause
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of bed by myself. Like I couldn't lift my leg without help.
She was so good to you, and I mean, I live in a walk-up building, so like, I couldn't have lived here had something like that happened. You had an elevator, which was incredibly
Yeah.
lucky, and I was like, you had an elevator and you had her, and like, without those two things, like, I don't know what you would have done.
I would have gone home.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would have sucked, like the car ride home.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I probably would have gotten the surgery at home too.
Right, that would make sense. But like, how did that either help your relationship or hurt your relationship? Like, was it?
I mean, there's definitely gratitude I have, and like, you know, it's nice to know that like she'll support me and help me out, and you know, she's also like a lot better with like blood and like injuries and stuff than I am. Like, I kind of get queasy sometimes around.
Even on your own self?
No, but like with others, and like
Yeah, like when I saw your
she
scar,
was
I was
like, yeah, and like it was so gross in the beginning,
Yeah.
and like she was like basically like, oh wow, like they actually did a pretty good job with this scar. And,
what does she do?
She studies at Columbia right now. She's getting her master's in public health.
So she's like kind of into that. No,
Yeah.
not really. Public health.
Well,
isn't
no,
really
she
that.
wanted to be a doctor at one
Oh, did
point.
she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, so go back to what we were saying.
Yeah, and it was just like, I don't know, she was so supportive and like really helpful throughout everything that, you know, like it definitely made it easier. Because it's a pretty isolating thing to
Yeah.
not be able to socialize or like get out or kind of like do things by yourself. So it's really nice to know that like you have, you know, someone or people to kind of help you out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. What like, how are you feeling? You just kind of mentioned like the isolating and like depressing feeling. Like, how were you feeling mentally during that time?
Yeah, so when it first happened, like friends who had actually torn their ACL prior to me, like texted me and they were like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Like I've been through it before. And I was like, you know, I've been hurt before, like, you know, this seems like a little bit much.
Yeah.
But it was honestly so appropriate and so just genuinely nice because they had been through that and they knew like it's so isolating because I can't go out. And,
Right.
And you know, I don't want to inconvenience friends when like I can't walk from one bar to the next bar.
No, but out. I don't even think like out. You're referring to like going out to
Yeah.
bars or anywhere else. Like you mean like restaurants or like
Yeah.
apartments or like you came here one time for like pizza, but like walking up and down the stairs was like so difficult. I felt so bad.
Yeah, and like I had to Uber everywhere, which is expensive.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just really tough because I also didn't want to like hold people back from like, you know, doing activities or doing events
Right.
that they wanted to do. But yeah.
How was working from home during that time?
Honestly, not bad. Like my, you know, employer was super kind in, like I got remote accommodations for like 6 months.
Yeah, that's great.
I went back beforehand just because, like, I liked my coworkers at the time. I liked the team I was on, and I kind of wanted to see them day to day.
Right. Also have like human connection. Like,
Yeah, and it got boring being in my apartment for so long. Like, there's only so much to do in a small apartment.
right.
And you know, just like a change of environment too. So that was really nice. Like I was itching to get out.
Yeah, for sure. How are you feeling now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of going through the recovery. Like I'm not fully recovered, but
And it's been how many months?
it's been like 9.
Yeah.
Coming up on 10. Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a really long time.
Yeah, it's a really long time. And it's also like kind of tough to grasp because it's been so long. But
Right.
like I'm still not back to 100%.
What is not 100% right now?
I would just say like having no limitations physically. Like if I were to try to play sports right now, no chance. But like I can walk, you know, I can run, but sports, no.
Okay, without injury, were you interested in running a marathon again, or was that like you like did it once, one and done, or was it something you were like, all right, like I did it once, I would do it again?
Yeah. Honestly, right after it, I was like, I'm never doing this again. But now, having like been hurt, and you know, being like, can I get back to that? Like,
Yeah.
you know, my 100% then was a lot higher than, you know, the benchmark I'm setting right now. So, I think it's definitely possible. I would do like a more low key one though, not, you know.
The New York City Marathon.
Yeah, not like Boston, New York City, like one of the big ones.
Would you at some point try and do it again?
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Like, I definitely think a half marathon is at the least.
When do you want to try for that? Like when do you want to start training again for something like that?
I mean, I'm gonna start training like when I can.
Yeah.
But I would say like in the spring. You know, I think it'd be nice to like start off, get in shape for summer.
You've heard it here first, folks. Like Ryan's gonna run another marathon. You said half of like the full marathon.
Yeah, stamp the date.
Well, that's great. I wanted to talk about that because I knew how isolating it was for you, and like having to like cancel trips and cancel plans and like all that stuff like must have really sucked, especially at the time we moved in August here, and it was like not 5 months after that happened. It just like was a very shitty thing that you had to go through, and not to exploit that here, but to like talk about your like how you overcame it and where you're at now.
Yeah, I mean it happens to people, so, and it will happen. Like more people will get hurt, and it's funny. Like the other weekend, like a guy came up, saw my scar, and was like, "Oh, torn ACL."
Oh, really?
And yeah, we had like a nice little bonding moment. It was at a tailgate.
It's funny.
Yeah.
No, but I'm happy to hear that you're. I mean, I know you're doing all better, but I'm just saying it for the people. I'm happy to hear you're feeling a lot better, and I know you were like pretty down before, and it's good to see you back in regular form.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about like marathon or injury?
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend that if you're slightly interested, like take on the endeavor of.
Would you start with you never did a half before, like, but would you start with a half, knowing what you now know?
Well, I did a half marathon as a part
You did say
of
that
training.
earlier. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so like I would definitely.
I don't mean for training. I'm saying for like get across the actual finish line of a half marathon to get the confidence of a full.
Yeah, I mean it's up to you. Like, you know, I think it's case by case. It's definitely a confidence booster. Like,
Yeah.
having to, you know, being able to like complete a race, complete that goal. But like I will say, like, you can only train so much. Like, you can't do, you know, constantly be training for like another marathon.
Right,
It's
that's
like
true.
As like a normal person.
You can only do so many practice runs or any practice whatever. Like you have to do this, the real thing at some point.
Yeah.
I just regurgitated what you just said in a much worse way.
But yeah, I think that's a good starting point.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's get into the quick question section with Ryan Heaton for where you answer. Let me say that again. let's get into the quick question section with Ryan Heaton, where you will answer questions I have for you kind of quickly.
All right.
Okay, Ryan, how often do you wash your sheets?
Honestly, I probably do it every other week. I try to do it once a week, but every other week.
Excuse me?
Yeah, no, I don't like being in dirty sheets.
Okay, okay. I'm not saying that I like dirty sheets. I just am not as good about it as you are, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, it helps. Like in my building, I do laundry in the basement, so there's multiple washing machines.
Right.
Like you have one. And
but it's
so,
literally in unit. Like, it should be easier for me to do it.
Yeah, but when I'm doing, one load for clothes, I just bring down the sheets and do a second for wash and dry, like for my sheets.
I think every 2-ish weeks is a very good rule for that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if you're having like other people over, like you gotta wash them
Every time.
pretty much every time like after you have or before, depending on the last time.
I think
that's gross.
I think every time.
Yeah.
It has to be every time. It has to be every time. How often do you wash your work shirts?
Yeah, so this actually I've been thinking a lot about recently. I would say, like, it honestly just depends on, like, how much I sweat in it or if I get, like, a stain on it, but, like, every, like, 1 to 3 wears.
Okay.
Pants, probably every, like, 3 wears.
Thanks for asking the next question.
You're welcome.
Okay, so pants 1 to 3 wears. What shaving cream do you use?
I have no idea. For, like, Gillette?
Razor?
Yeah, I use a Gillette razor, like the Fusion Pro Glide, whatever.
Okay, do you have a skincare routine?
Yeah, I wash my face when I wake up.
Do you know what products you use?
Yeah, I either use Cetaphil or like CeraVe
Okay.
for my like, face wash.
Yeah.
I think I use the sensitive face one.
Okay.
And then, I have like a daily moisturizer.
Okay. And then, what's your go-to drink at a bar?
Yeah, it depends how I'm feeling that night. If I'm tired, it's a vodka Red Bull. If I'm, feeling like I want something more refreshing, I'll probably get like a vodka soda. Sometimes I'll ask for a lime.
Whoa.
Or like an orange.
Crazy.
I might ask for an orange.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
That's out of control. They don't have oranges at bars.
They do.
Do they?
But one time they gave me grapefruit. It's like, I was like, oh, can I get a vodka soda with an orange? Yes. Got a grapefruit in it.
Change the night. You had to leave the bar.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was fine, but just not what I was expecting.
No, that's a surprise.
I would
You
have
didn't
rather
want
have
that.
lime or lemon.
Take us through a date night with your girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, they vary a lot, but I'd say like most, we're just getting dinner. And like we try to, like I like to do things that like are exploring.
Okay.
So, like, we one time, like this is one of the dates I really liked. We went to like Little Italy, and just went like cannoli touring.
You were actually the guy who gave me the cookie tour ideas, isn't that right?
I like food tours a lot.
Because you said you did a cannoli tour, and I don't like cannolis, but I was like, what can we change that to? And it was a cookie tour.
I will say the cannoli tour died after 2 spots because.
And you both ended up on the toilet?
No, like you can only have so many cannolis before you're like, okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot of cannolis, right? But you still went at each place.
Yeah, no, we had 2 and then like a third, like the Napoleon cake.
No idea.
No, they were pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what is your ideal night with your friends?
Honestly, I just like going to a bar, sitting down, talking.
Sitting down and talking?
Yeah, like you just enjoy a beer and just like.
Oh, like you're saying at a bar, you don't mean like.
Yeah, like at a bar.
Okay. And then, are there any other questions that you have for like our guy friends that you don't ask? Because on the last episode with Luke, I was thinking about that, and I asked him a couple questions quickly, and I was like, what could I have asked better?
Yeah.
In like the quick questions.
I don't know, like.
Or did we hit on a good amount?
It's kind of fun, but I think we hit a pretty good amount. Like.
Oh, I have one.
I think I have a good one.
What is it? No, I'll ask
like,
it.
what do you like cook?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Oh, wow.
I was just gonna say that. What do you cook for dinner?
Yeah.
I'll probably leave that little part in.
Yeah. I actually really like to cook. I don't like to clean, but I like to cook. I don't cook as much as I should.
Okay.
I order a lot of Uber Eats.
But if you had to cook.
Yeah, no, but I do have some like core essentials that I like to get in. So I like to do this like rice, chicken, avocado, and like sometimes like a cooked spinach with this soyaki
Ooh.
sauce. Great.
Yum.
Chicken Caesar salad. I'll do like an easy like meat sauce, which is just ground beef or
And?
ground turkey, marinara sauce, pasta.
Sounds great. What kind of pasta?
A lot of penne, but I'll like switch it up every now and then to like different ones just to keep it fun.
And are you buying the beef or the turkey? The ground turkey or the ground beef?
I've been buying a lot more ground turkey recently just because it's better for you.
It is better for you, right?
But like I will get ground beef just because I do like beef instead of turkey at times.
Do you have breakfast before work?
Yeah, actually this is something my girlfriend doesn't like that I do, but I normally just eat like a Quest bar.
Okay. Why does she not like that?
Well, because it's not like a really balanced, it's not like a meal.
No, it's like not that
It's
healthy.
like a 200 calorie protein bar.
Right.
Great protein bars if they want to sponsor.
Yeah. Or Stella or Twa. Or Twa. I can't even pronounce it. They can't sponsor. Okay, and then are you back into a gym routine?
Like it's tough because I got a PT still, and that's just basically like leg day.
Okay.
But like gym routine, I try to go 2 to 3 times a week, but not PT related.
Yeah.
Definitely don't hit that. But like I try my very best to at least go once a week, just because like I feel so good. Like you just feel good after going to the gym.
Yeah, you
Like,
do. You feel great mentally,
It
physically.
helps you
like,
sleep. Like that was
Totally.
one of my favorite things about the marathon. I slept so well,
I'm sure. Oh my god.
and I could eat anything I wanted to on Sundays
Which is amazing.
because I was burning like a couple thousand calories.
What did your cheat day look like?
A lot of Van Leeuwen.
Ice cream, but it doesn't. doesn't know
Burgers,
what that
Van
is.
Leeuwen, pizza, like.
So
Oh
good.
yeah, it's an ice cream place in New York.
Okay, and then I had one more. Shoot. You said we were just talking about gym. We were just talking about something else.
Food, cooking, fashion.
Oh, you want to talk about fashion?
No, I'm not. I don't really know fashion.
I don't think that's the topic
Yeah.
for this one. How is your living situation?
It's
That's what I
good.
wanted to ask.
I have a roommate. We live in a flex wall apartment, which is a temporary wall.
And like, are you happy with it? Did you renew?
Yeah, we renewed. I'm happy. It's one of my best friends from like growing up, and I've like known him forever, and so it's like not that much of an adjustment, to be honest.
Is there anything that annoys you about each other, or like you can point out that he gets annoyed about by you, and same for you to him?
Honestly, I just think it's like generally keeping the apartment clean. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for most roommates.
yeah, and like we're both like decently good at it. Honestly, we could definitely be way better. I don't think my girlfriend or other people would say we're good at it. But,
Right.
Yeah, I would say it's that. Like there will be times where like he keeps it really clean, times where I keep it really clean, times where neither of us keeps it clean. So yeah.
That's definitely probably the biggest roommate grievance I've heard from everybody. Okay, that is the end of the fast questions section.
Thanks.
And that is the episode. Anything else you want to add about anything in general?
No.
Okay, thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
This was great, and I think for anybody that wants to I don't think it has to be like a marathon, but anybody that wants to like commit to something, I think it's cool to know that you literally had no idea that you wanted to do that, and we're like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot, and just like went for it, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like start where you're comfortable. Like
Yeah.
if it's a 5K, it's a 5. If it's a 1 mile race, it's a 1 mile race. Like, they're fun to do. They're so like the running community. What I've learned is so like encouraging and supportive. There's so much just positive energy, and like people love to go out and just cheer you on and like
Yeah.
motivate you, and it's just such like a nice experience. So
Did you make any friends from it?
honestly, I got really close with a couple of my coworkers because of it.
Yeah.
Like they were doing it, and the one had previously run one, and so it was just like a nice conversation topic to have. Like I wasn't the guy who was like, hey, I'm running the New York City Marathon this year. Like, but it would come up, and people would be like, oh, like, why are you heading home so early? And I'd be like, well, I have to run like 15 miles tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're like, why?
And then
Yeah.
it came up naturally. It wasn't like an annoying.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, like, how was your weekend? I got a nice like 20-mile run in. Like, It was great.
Wait, I just had something to say. Shoot, about that. The last episode was just about how to make friends in a new city. I think that's another. It's like a great one. I talked about walking like clubs, but I think running's another great one.
Yeah. There are a ton of running clubs, and like specifically for the marathon, they'll have like training runs for you where I think it's New York Road Runners, but they'll post and they'll be like, hey, we're doing like a 15-mile run in Central Park this Sunday at 7 a.m. And like I always would see those groups running when I was running. I liked running alone, but yeah, like if you want to meet friends, and runners are always just like positive people. They're just out there to run. Like
I feel like you have to kind of have a positive mentality and outlook to be a runner in the first place.
Yeah, like never be the person like demeaning others while like they're just trying to accomplish a goal or to like better themselves. That's just like
that's another good takeaway from this episode. No, that's another good takeaway from this episode is that like, and I'm one of those people that I was like, I didn't think you could do it, or like we're actually serious about it, but like I don't know, be supportive because like maybe not because it was a motivator to you to not be supportive, but I think it's a good thing to be supportive.
I mean, yeah, like, and, if it's a crazy risk that someone's taking, like, I'm going to put all my money into this, thing and risk it all. Like, maybe, like, have some checks and balances there. Like, let them know that's not a good idea.
Right.
But if they're just trying to, like, accomplish something, like, tell them to go for it. Encourage them. Be supportive. And if they don't, like...
I was supportive after that. Can we clarify?
No, yeah. Like, all of our friends were so supportive of it. And, like, we have great friends because, like... so many, like, I raised money for charity, and I was worried about that, but then I sent it to like my friends, sent it to my parents, they sent it to their friends, and like just the amount of support, unexpected support that came was just so overwhelming. And so like that was just also a nice thing to know that you have. It's just a great,
like a really good support system and community behind you.
And like that was a huge takeaway because like in a marathon, like that's a high. Like I had a great support group when things were well. And then, I tore my ACL, and, like, that was a low, and I still had that great support group. So, like, I'd say that was, like, something really reaffirming in, like, life, I guess.
Yeah. That was a really nice little, like, conclusion to the end of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, that was just, like, maybe it's a humble brag.
Like a little, like, it didn't come off that way, and then when you said it, I was like, actually, like, kind of. Yeah. Ryan is always one of the first people to let me know in an episode when I say like too much, or what else do I do that's kind of off? I'm giving you the time to just like...
Yeah, no, I'll send him like funny quotes.
Yeah, or I'll say something that just like is really stupid and I forgot about or something like that. Like,
yeah, like, I'd say it's mainly just funny quotes or like things he says, and I'm like, really?
No, but it's good because I need a check, or and it's actually nice to know that you listen to it as well.
It's also tough, like you're saying things like live, like you have really no opportunity.
Now that you're kind of in it, like you're literally in it. What do you think?
I mean, I know I'm gonna listen to this tomorrow and cringe.
Do you think?
Or like listen when it comes out and just cringe.
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, cool.
We're doing this Monday night right now, and it's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna cringe at things I say, but. Like it happened. Like this is one of those things where you take risks and like.
Right, but it is kind of cool. It's a cool like we're having this conversation like friend to friend, and then like tomorrow the world can hear it. The world's not going to hear it, obviously, but the world could hear it.
I think it's gonna go viral.
It could, I mean, I don't think so.
It could have millions,
but it could.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
So, but like in the moment, like I'm not thinking that people are gonna be hearing this. Like that's not going through my head. Like the next sentence I say is gonna be quoted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and like ignore, like the noise, like the negative feedback you get, like not constructive feedback.
Yeah.
Just like, people kind of trashing you and belittling you. And,
are people trashing and belittling me?
I mean, probably not, but like.
But they could be.
But just in general, when you do things. Like,
right, no, that's
true.
true.
There will always be people who, talk poorly about it.
I will say in the beginning, like I think a lot of people were like, oh, that's really cool, but like he's not gonna actually make that happen.
Yeah.
Or like not gonna actually keep going through it.
I mean, I'm kind of shocked it's gotten this far.
No, like you were definitely one of those people.
Yeah, I was confident in you, but there's like this is like a lot of episodes at this point.
Yeah.
Like what % of podcasters make it this far?
I not a lot.
Yeah. It's
The ones you hear about are the ones that have made it this far, but like,
Yeah.
there's a good amount that, I mean, most people haven't heard of this one, but like,
yeah.
so there's, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people like chugging at it, but it's like, similar to your mindset. Like, if I have a goal and I have like a benchmark that I want to meet and I want to actually make something happen, like, you have to go for it.
Yeah. And I mean, it does help putting yourself out there. Like,
Right.
I had to raise money for charity, so like people knew I was doing it. And, like,
That's true, and now
Okay,
people
yeah.
know I'm doing this. It's like, no, it's that's another good middle ground there.
yeah.
Even though like a marathon's just like way better than a podcast.
I mean,
No, like,
yeah.
we're not gonna. No, I
Yeah,
know,
we.
It's just
it's
better.
like apples and oranges.
But, like, it's just cool that like you ran a marathon.
Probably.
Like, all right, well, that's the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. I do the outro now. Is that cool if I do it right here?
Yeah. Do you want me to leave?
No, you can be here for it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening. This is Guyset. This was I change it as every time now. It's an absolute mess because I'm embarrassed that you're here and I'm doing this right now.
It's
But
a really long outro.
no, I don't mean. I'm gonna probably cut that part. This was Guyset. You can find the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything else. That's where everybody listens anyway. You can find the podcast on The Guyset, TheGuyset on Instagram and TikTok. You can email me any questions at joshjosh@guyset.com, josh@guyset.com, and please send your questions. I'll make an episode about them because that's what I've been doing. Thank you so much again for listening, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. See you guys. All right. Thanks for being on.
Yeah. No problem.
That was fun, right?
Yeah.
What did you think, honestly?
I mean, I enjoyed it. Like,
Okay, good. I think it was a really good conversation.
yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know, like, what I really said or what, I talked about, but I hope it's of value